The last speech of the day will be after this one, and that one is going to be a Google translation from the Italian. Unfortunately, I don't know Italian, so I can't translate it. So it'll be the best translation I can get a hold of in order to read it. This one is the address of the Holy Father to seminarians of the Dioceses of Pamplona, Tudela, San Sebastian, and Redemptoris Mater. Consistory Hall, Saturday, 16th of November, 2024. Dear bishops, dear sister, there's only one, dear brothers, good morning. I welcome you with pleasure, seminarians from Pamplona and San Sebastian. Your Archbishop was very excited about this audience and told me that you are counting on the affection I have for prisons so that I would also grant you this audience. The seminary is not a prison. It is a place where you learn that a priest is a man, a human being who wishes to redeem, like your Mercedarian Archbishop, a redeemer of prisoners. For a priest can be nothing other than a living image of Jesus, the Redeemer with a capital R. This means many things, but a very precise one is that we must go into the prisons, certainly into the government prisons, to offer to those who are detained in them the oil of consolation and the wine of hope, but also to all those prisons that confine the men and women of our society, ideological prisons, the moral ones, those that create exploitation, discouragement, ignorance, and forgetfulness of God. I return to prisons. Please, go into the prisons. Go. Make the effort. Ever since I became bishop on Holy Thursday, I performed the washing of the feet in a prison. They are those who most need us to wash their feet, as if to say, look, I am washing your feet because I am worse than you, but I had the luck not to be caught. I remember during the washing of the feet, it was in a women's prison. I was washing a woman's feet, and when I was about to pass to the other, she grasped my hand, came close to my ear, and said to me, Father, I killed my son. The inner dramas of the conscience of those who live in prison. When you become priests, go into the prisons. It is a priority. And we can all say what I feel. Why them and not me? You will receive priestly anointment, and it is to free prisoners, those who are in chains without being aware of it, chained by many things, by culture, society, vices, hidden sins. Good, you have this written. I will leave it with the bishop, who will let you read it. In this way, we will not waste time, because soon you will not listen anymore. It is better for you to ask questions. Second part of the address handed to the Archbishop. In the fourth chapter of his Gospel, St. Luke offers a good meditation for the preparation of future priests, which I propose to you. He speaks to us of docility to the Spirit, of making a desert in order to meet God, emptying ourselves of so many things that we carry as ballast. He encourages us not to be afraid to confront the temptation of an idolatrous ministry where we are at the center, seeking material power or applause. The chapter goes on to say that Jesus went to Nazareth, his homeland, aware that in the eyes of the world he was no more than the son of Joseph, one like us. Never forget these roots. Never forget that you are children of the people. This text from Luke also teaches us that in our apostolate, we cannot make distinctions between people, even if they are strangers or even enemies, because for God, we are all his children. When we look at our brother, let us recognize in him his readiness to receive the grace that the Lord offers him. In another passage, the Lord indignantly grieves at the hardness of heart of his contemporaries who do not understand Jesus' solicitude to free a woman bound by an evil spirit for many years. You, on the contrary, be always ready to bless, to liberate, and when you feel the hands that he anointed are paralyzed, then stretch them out with confidence like the crippled man in the Gospel of Mark. This is what Jesus did on the cross, imprinting our wound in his heart and arm, destroying with his love our death, and crossing with his passion the abyss that separated us from God. Thus be courageous, selfless, and tireless in bearing the divine mercy that the Lord has so generously poured out on you by choosing you for this ministry. May he bless you, and may the Blessed Virgin watch over you. Amen. Quite beautiful. I don't want to do too much commentary on these, but I was he is so funny. He is so funny. I mean, if you don't know that, you haven't read his magisterium nearly enough, because I mean, and so joyful. Whenever I read him, I say, I love this man. I love this man so much. Um, but I was reminded, I'm actually not even confirmed, but uh, I was in Protestant churches since encountering Christ, and I grew up at a non-denominational church, and then went off and did other uh, awful things, but came back when I truly encountered Jesus. But I'm reminded, one of my favorite preachers has been Leonard Ravenhill, and it's funny. He makes this joke about the seminarians coming, and he's saying that they were counting on his affection for the prisons. It's like, so that that he would be willing to meet them, and seminary can sometimes be seen as a prison for some people. Um, but then he says, of course, it's not. But Leonard Ravenhill would make a joke about seminaries. He would say, well, the fellows over there in the cemeteries. I mean, seminaries. So I was reminded of that, and yeah, there's quite a number of times when I'm reading, especially when the church is speaking about passion for evangelization and passion for preaching. I'm oftentimes reminded of Leonard Ravenhill. He would say, um, if a pastor doesn't preach with passion, he shouldn't preach at all. Um, and so that's not to say that we all have to be uh, emotional or um, over the top, whatever you want to say about that. It's not that. It's the heart of the things, and some people are better speakers than others. But even if you're not a very good speaker, you can still tell that somebody has passion about something, and that's the key thing there. But yeah, so don't want to go on for too long. But I'm going to do my prayer for the Holy Father and for my bishop after this last reading for the day, the one that's translated from Italian. God bless you.